many ways of validating our activities in this worldly experience. Say you're in the market for a mystical vision. Say you're trying to make sense of it all. Say you're thinking about taking some drugs. Now, there's a very particular way of justifying this and similar acts, and it comes in the form of an acronym, which has entered our vernacular courtesy of a prominent rapper. I'm referring, of course, to YOLO, which is meant to remind you, you only live once. Like, should I take this ketamine and dissolve my selfhood into the trackless flows of the cosmic foam? YOLO, right? It's very good advice, but it does rest upon a philosophical assumption regarding the finitude of our being and the limitations of our existence. Do we only live once? I don't know. Now, on the basis of that contention, another rapper has suggested that in fact we switch the O's to the A's and say this, say YALA, you always live again. The problem, however, is that it simply makes the opposite radical philosophical assumption that we do in fact always live again, which I don't know about you, but I don't know. Now, what I'm thinking is that we attempt to say what we can actually say based on the empirical evidence, which is in fact extraordinarily limited, right? We actually have no idea what is happening after this. And based on my experience, all I can say with any kind of certainty is the following. You live at least once. Which is true. It's true, but it makes a rather more difficult acronym. You live at least once. YLALO. It's hard to say.
YLALO, you live at least once. I'm sorry, Drake, you have made an assumption that I, Nate, cannot possibly make. Conceivably, this life wherein now we make mirth is just one pit stop among countless rebirths. YLALO, you live at least once. MIA, I deeply admire what I'm pretty sure you're trying to say, but what makes you certain that that for which we cry and pray won't, when we die, just die with us and slide away? YLALO, you live at least once. This I'm sure of. Maybe beyond the threshold of this world there's pure love waiting to stream forth once this screen's done buffering. Maybe I'll be back for more joy and suffering. YLALO, you live at least once. But what does you entail? Aren't we just atoms that randomly spin and flail? And don't all these atoms have smaller parts like pitted tails? None of which, if it could care, would care if you were impaled? And you live, well actually to be perfectly accurate, I live. Like Descartes, cogito, ergo, etc. Better to be sure than to go too far. But if you are, the important fact is that you live at least once, but you really might live more than that. You live at least once. You could have not lived by a smidgen. Your atoms crashed whips on the pathways of rhythm. But who placed these pathways and when's the beginning? Or are its own parts what started all spinning? And what does all that mean? What does it not mean? Which was hazy as hot steam. But wait, shit, this is God's dream, nah mean? Scene, sprawling a raw being where summers and winters come in between falls and springs. YLALO, you live at least once, but either way, you might as well live the present moment in a freer way. Try to find that meaning, dragging on a gleaming J, digging through the haystacks in which I'm told the needles lay. Digging through the record stacks and grabbing something sweet to play. Love is all you need, but what you need is not for me to say. YLALO, you live at least once and it ain't boring. Born with no instructions for usage or storing. Don't hold the boat back, tied to the old mooring. Each passing fact is a new night and morning. Wide-eyed and wild-painted wonder, you poor thing. And oh boy, you might be reborn for more being. You live at least once, that is if life's real in the first place. And all we experience isn't just a surface trace, sneezed from the nostrils that yawn from God's perfect face. And up to now we've been arguing about who's the best and who's the worst race. Everybody is equally important, sprung and free like a bunch of little buds upon a big funky tree. Run that sap, rap like me. People will be like, yeah, but what's that mean? Cern8 is nothing in the cosmic analysis, and the same goes for Drake, MIA, planes and palaces. Get it all, maybe get another go. All y'all know is you live at least once, so YLALO. It's hard to say, just as the truth to which it refers is dim and difficult to conceive. You know, you gotta get your priorities straight. Voice your skepticism. YLALO. YLALO. YLALO.
YLALO.